Most people hit a wall when they reach $10,000 in savings or income. And here's the kicker. It's not because they don't have the ability to earn more. This is where most people get it wrong. They think hitting $10,000 should feel like a win, but instead, it often feels like a pause or even a step back. Why? Because everything changes after you cross that 10K mark. But very few people actually understand what's going on behind the scenes. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you've been saving for a while and you finally have $9,000. You might feel cautious, nervous even, about spending or investing. Now, when you get to $11,000, suddenly you don't feel quite as scared anymore. That extra $2,000 isn't just money, it's a mental shift. Think about it like walking on a tightrope. Below $10,000, you feel like a misstep could send you crashing down. But crossing that invisible 10K line? It's like reaching a safety net that makes you breathe easier. If this sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. Here's why this matters. Before $10,000, your money feels fragile, like it could disappear at any moment. You might find yourself constantly worried about spending too much or making the wrong move. But once you're over that 10K barrier, your confidence starts to build without you even realizing it. For example, you might start thinking about small investments or side hustles because you finally feel like you have some breathing room. It's like changing gears in a car. Below $10,000, you're stuck in first gear, barely moving forward. After $10,000, you shift up, and that's when speed and progress really kick in. So, what can you do with this shift? Here's a clear strategy. Treat $10,000 as your financial launch pad, not your finish line. Use that mindset boost to set up a real emergency fund. You know, money you won't touch unless something serious happens. Then, take a small portion of that money and start investing or building new income streams. The key here is to stop hoarding every penny out of fear and start trusting that your money can work for you. For instance, try setting aside 5% or 10% of your savings to experiment with investments or learning new skills. This simple step can unlock growth like you've never seen before. Here's the bottom line. Crossing the $10,000 mark isn't magical, but it feels magical because it changes how you think about money and how your money works for you. If you want to break free from the grind and start building real wealth, focus on making that 10K milestone hit with purpose. It's not just about the number, it's about the new mindset that number represents. Ask yourself, what will you do now that you understand this shift? How will you use your money differently? Your journey to financial freedom starts with this step. So, are you ready to change your money game? Let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever saved up some money, maybe a few $1,000s, and felt like you were on top of the world? Like finally, you're making progress. But then, out of nowhere, that progress just stalls. Your savings stop growing, or your income hits a higher number but somehow it doesn't feel any better. Does that sound familiar? If it does, you're definitely not alone. This is something that happens to so many people, and it's frustrating. It's like running a race, dropping everything you've got, and then suddenly hitting an invisible wall. You feel stuck, even though, on paper, you should be moving forward. Now, you might think $10,000 is just a number. But here's the thing. It's actually a huge mental and financial turning point. Think about it like this. Before reaching $10,000, your mindset is mostly about survival. You're focused on getting by, not messing up, and hanging on to whatever you have. But right at $10,000, something subtle but powerful happens inside your brain. Your thinking starts to shift from, how do I keep what I have, to, how can I make this grow? It's a switch from a scarcity mindset to a growth mindset, whether you realize it or not. Let me give you a simple real-life example. Say Sarah was living paycheck to paycheck, stressing about bills, but she managed to save $9,000. She felt proud but was scared to spend or invest because what if she lost it all? Then she hits $11,000. Suddenly, Sarah feels a bit more secure. She starts imagining small investments or side hustles. She begins to see money as a tool to create more money, not just something to guard tightly. That change in mindset opens up new opportunities and makes her feel less trapped. So, if you're anywhere near $10,000 right now, pay attention, because this is the moment where everything starts feeling different. It's not just about having more cash, it's about your mindset evolving. When you understand this shift, you can start using your money with more confidence and purpose. And that's exactly where real financial progress begins. Are you ready to step into that new mindset? Here's what really happens before you hit $10,000. Money feels fragile. It's like holding a glass of water that you're afraid to spill. Every dollar feels precious and you constantly worry it might disappear at any moment. Because of that, you're often scared to spend, scared to invest, scared to take any risks at all. Does this sound familiar? If so, you're not alone. Think about it like walking on thin ice. Before 10K, you feel like one wrong step, and poof, your money could vanish. You hold back trying to protect what you have. This limits your options because you're stuck in survival mode. Most people don't realize this fear is normal, but it's also exactly what holds them back from growing their money. But now, picture what happens right after you cross that $10,000 mark. Suddenly, you start to feel a little safer, like you're standing on solid ground instead of that thin ice. You have a cushion, and that cushion, it's powerful. It creates a sense of security, a financial breathing room. With that safety net beneath you, you gain a fresh kind of confidence. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you've been saving, and you're at $9,000. Close, but not quite there. You're still hesitant, afraid to try things that might risk your money. Then you hit $11,000. That extra $2,000 might not seem like much, but it changes everything. Suddenly, you're more willing to take a smart chance, maybe invest in a stock or even pay for a course to upgrade your skills. That confidence shift makes you act differently with your money. And here's the key. It's this new way of acting, this confidence, that's where real growth starts happening. When you feel safe, you stop just saving and start using your money to create more money. It's like crossing a bridge, from scarcity to opportunity. So next time you feel scared with less than 10K, remember that reaching that milestone isn't just about the number. It's about gaining the power to move forward. Are you ready to cross that bridge? So, how do you actually make this shift work for you? First, and this is super important, you need to see $10,000 not as a finish line, but as your launch pad. Think about it like this. Reaching 10K isn't the end of the race. It's the green light to start accelerating. Here's where most people get it wrong. They save up to $10,000, then sit tight, afraid to touch that money, treating it like some kind of fragile treasure. But that's backwards. The best thing you can do after hitting 10K is build momentum. Start by creating an emergency fund. Why? Because feeling secure is the foundation of confidence. Knowing you have money set aside for unexpected expenses lets you breathe easier and take smarter risks. For example, imagine breaking your phone tomorrow. If money's tight, that's a stressful crisis. But with an emergency fund, no big deal. You're prepared. Once that emergency cushion is set, it's time to put your money to work. That means using some of your savings to invest or start growing new income streams. This is where the real magic happens. Instead of hoarding every penny out of fear, you shift to trusting your money and yourself to create more wealth. Let me give you a simple, practical step. Pick a small percentage of your 10K, say 5% or 10%, and invest it in something you understand or learn about passive income opportunities. Could be stocks, a side hustle, or an online course to improve your skills. This mindset combined with action is a game changer. It transforms you from a saver stuck in place to a growth-focused wealth builder. So, what small step will you take today to make your money start working for you? Here's the thing. Crossing $10,000 isn't some kind of magic trick. No fairy dust involved. But it does feel magical. And that's because it changes something huge inside you. It shifts how you think about money. and, more importantly, how money works for you. Think about it like this. Before 10K, money might feel like a limited resource you have to guard fiercely. After 10K, your mindset starts to open up. Money becomes less about survival and more about growth. Suddenly, it's not just cash in a bank. It's a tool you can use to create new opportunities, new income, and real freedom. If you want to break free from that never-ending struggle, the cycle of stressing over bills or feeling stuck financially, then your focus should be crystal clear. Aim not just to save, but to hit and pass that 10K mark intentionally. It's like crossing a bridge. On one side, scarcity. On the other, possibility. But you have to choose to step onto that bridge. And here's something important. It's just as much about mindset as it is about the numbers. You can have $10,000, but if you're still thinking like you have zero, nothing changes. On the flip side, if your mindset shifts first, the numbers will follow. It's about believing that your money can and will work for you, and acting like it already is. So, what will you do now that you understand this? What's your next step? Will you start building that emergency fund? Begin investing? Or maybe learn a new skill to increase your income? Whatever it is, start acting like your money is already working hard for you. Because here's the truth. Your journey to real wealth doesn't start with a big number in your bank account. It starts right here, with your mindset and your actions. And that journey, it starts now.